In part one, I talked about cutting the front of the bed floor to here, this cut, 21 and 3/4. What I forgot to mention is this whole bed floor is going to move up a half an inch to deal with this gap that's here. And you see the back of the cab comes out in each one of these sections. So this is going to move up a half an inch to take care of this gap. But also what it's going to do is get our bedside lined up with our rear axle. So I have this in here so you can kind of see where the center of the wheel well is going to be, and it's towards the back of the rear axle. So when we move that forward, that's actually going to put us right in the middle, right in the middle. So the wheel well opening will be centered with the back tire. Okay. Get ready to cut off the cab by myself. So I'm going to do it in sections. You can see I did this 1-inch piece of tape, run it down from this body line down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here yet. I think I can keep this. If not, I'll cut it out, but I'm going to try to keep it there just for some structure. So my plan is to cut out here, kind of where this primer's at, all the way up to this line and across. Cut that out, do the same thing on the driver's side. As you can see, I braced up the inside of the cab, going from door strike plate to door strike plate. This is double layered, so I'm going to cut down here somewhere all the way across, and then cut across the top right about here. So here's your pillar. You got this pinch where it connects. Cut across that. Driver's side. Got my cut across the back. Still held on by this, connects to this. I cut in here, cut this out, see what's going on. So now I'm just gonna cut this off. All right, cut through there. On the inside, let's see, made a cut through here. Pinch seams, I showed you earlier. We're taping on this side of it, running across. All right, if you cut along the back, as I described, this is what it's gonna look like. Going from the seam all the way across. I'm gonna cut along here. Remember video 1, you made the black marks with your Sharpie. Run a Sharpie along. You can see all the marks up and down, up and down. So on the low points, that's where you're gonna put your tape and make your cut. Ignore the top piece of tape. All right, inside the bed, this is driver's side. You're gonna want to get a measurement of 36 inches from this side of this stake pocket to here is 36 inches. It'll look something like that. Up to you if you want to go a little more than 36, but that's where I'm at. All right, rear quarter panel or bedside, whatever you want to call it. The original plan was to, I got this overhang here of about half an inch, was to do some pie cuts, bend it over, kind of like the factory did here. I did the passenger side, didn't like the way it came out, so we're going to do something different. Now remember, you have the 1-inch strip here on the original jam. You see the white line on the right of that is the original jam. On the left of that is the rear quarter panel or bedside, whatever you want to call it. So I did a white chalk line along there. That's where I'm going to make my cut. Again, there's your 1-inch strip. So I'm going to cut there, and hopefully it butts up real nice right there with the door jamb. So let's see what happens. Trimmed it down, threw it up there. Down here on this lower part, I still have to make a cut. All I'm going to do is follow this edge right here. Let's see if we can peek inside there. So that's the cab corner that's still intact. We're lined up on this body line. See how good that looks? But when I come up here, we're off. So I need to trim this down so this bedside, top of this bed rail can sit with that. Easy money. Trimmed it down. So our body line lines up down there. Obviously, got to trim this off, you know, patch all that stuff up. But now I'm going to make a cut here. Once I do that, that's going to allow this piece of metal that's sticking out to push in, and we'll get a weld across there. And I'm doing it that way to keep the cab corners in, to give it some good structure. So again, let me zoom out a little bit. Back here is your cab corner. So we're keeping the cab corner. It's intact right now. I'm going to cut here so that piece of the cab corner could push in, and I could weld this piece to this piece. And then I'm going to go on the inside and weld up that cab corner that I just cut through. All right, I just made my cut. So you see how we can make this seam flush. Now we can make this one sticking out, but we push it in and we can make it flush. Now there's some give. All right, so I made those cuts, got it put in, put some tacks. All right, got some fitment issues. Front of the windshield, I trimmed most of that stuff out, but it's still not sitting right. I got a gap here, and this should be closer, but I can't move it up anymore. So I think once this piece is moved up, that will take care of this overhang. Upper windshield bow, which welds into here. Once that's installed, we'll see how this thing really fits.